today? Why are we here today? We're gathered here today. We're going to talk about, I had a whole lot to talk about, and I'm like, Kelli, you got to scale it back because I got a whole lot to talk about. So we're just going to break it into chunks. We got time. So we'll do more this month. We're going to talk about, do we need a side job? Right? And if so, I'm going to share with you today why it may be an important factor for some of us, how it could be potentially helpful for some of us. I shared last week, if you were here, if not, check out that video. I said, I don't want to be the person online talking about all these side hustles, especially to this demographic, because this is what I'm passionate about, because that's my demographic. That's the age that I am. And so I don't want to be the one saying, hey, here's a side hustle. Here's a side hustle. Here's a remote job. Here's a remote job without a strategy. And my OGs know, Rhoda knows, Doc knows, Lady Low knows. Sean has been here with me for a minute. Y'all know that we do things intentionally. We have intentionality about what we're doing. Even the side hustle culture. I share those because I want you to think about them strategically. We talked last week about taking that extra money and doing what? We talked about investing. We talk about using it as a tool and not as a goal. I need more money, Kelli. I just need more money. I need more money. Okay, when you get that money, what are you going to do with it? Well, I have this bill, and I have this bill, and I have this bill, and I have this bill. Let me tell you something. I'm not telling you about something I heard. This is something I know. Have you ever seen somebody with 2 jobs rich or a millionaire? Think about it before you respond. Because I relocated from Illinois and I moved to Georgia. I came from Illinois and I took the same mindset and I brought it here to Georgia. There was a lot of working out God had to do to get me to say, hey, you're not in Kansas anymore, little girl. You're not working at the plant anymore, distribution center. You're not there anymore. I'm putting you in corporate. It's a whole different ball game. The same thing holds true for money, you all. I know we need the side hustle because, Kelli, I need money. I get it. But before you need the money, like we talked about last week, this needs to change first, because if you get the money, you're going to do the same thing. So I don't want to be the one out there just throwing side hustles at you. That's not me. That's not my game. Somebody else can have it. It's a ton of people on YouTube with all that. Run over there. If you just want to grab something and not have a strategic plan about why you're getting this side hustle, I will continue to share them. But I tell you, be careful of what you consume. There's a whole list of people out there that shared a side hustle with taking your bags. Did y'all see it? Taking your luggage. That's a side hustle where people leave their luggage at the airport. They leave the luggage at the airport and then somebody bring it to you, right? That happened to me when I went to St. Thomas. A couple days, it shows up, right? Somebody brings it to you. That happened on the Fockers. Did y'all remember that? I digress. Anyway, some guy did it and the media caught hold to it. I'm not blaming the guy, but the guy does it as a side hustle. And we're going to get to our topic in a second. He does that as a side hustle. He's the one, he takes the luggage and he brings it to the person that left it or lost it or what have you. The media picked it up and what they said was he made $800 in 4 hours. So the YouTubers out there put that on there. The thumbnail said, make $800 in 4 hours, make $800 in 4 hours, make $800 in 4 hours. Guess what? He said, that's not true. That's not what I said. I made $800 in 4 days. I made $200 a day. He said it. So I'm not faulting him. What I'm saying is for you, be careful what you're following. Be careful what you're consuming. What I want you to do in here, this is what we do, right, Doc? Right, Loretta, right, Sean, right, Crystal? This is what we do. We put a plan around what we want to do. We don't want to we don't want to use the same mindset that we have taking on extra work. I don't want you to hustle. If we're going to take the money, we're going to leverage it. We're going to use it as a tool and not a goal. All right, I'm done. So today, what I want to show you today, I want to show you some strategies. I had a whole lot that I was going to share, but I think, because I know me, to keep myself on track, I'm going to share with you some strategies because I know our demographic and where we are. And again, when you're thinking about strategy, you all, okay? What's up, Camille? Jay, what's happening? What's happening? What's up, Jay? John's in the building. What's up? What's up? So let's talk about this. Do we need this side hustle? I'm going to share with you why it's important in certain occasions. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to have this conversation. I promise you, if you have questions, drop it in the chat. If I can't get to you, it's a lot of smart people up in here. They will answer you. And if I can get to you, I will. Don't be shy. This is a safe space, right, y'all? Jay, let them know this is a safe space. We got you. We got you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to get this party started. Now, I want you to listen. Grab a pen and pencil when you can, because we're going to do some math. I know it's late, but this is important. This is important. I wouldn't be sharing it if it wasn't. Here we go. Now, I need you to listen. 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 I didn't say that 8 times. I need you to listen. We're talking today, do you need a side job? We're talking about funding our future financially. Here's what you need to know. Let's go. When we're going to talk about this Social Security and how they get their money. And we're going to talk about you and your Social Security and how you're going to get your money and some strategies so that you can get more money. You might say, well, Kelli, I'm not old enough. I'm not there yet. We don't want to wait till we get there. At the top of this, I said what we do, we educate to equip ourselves to be empowered so we stay prepared. This is how that FICA gets on your check. It's like a piggy bank. It's funded by taxes. They're called payroll taxes. It's funded by taxes taken from your paycheck. Some of you may already know this, but we don't want to assume everyone does. So we're going to break it down because everybody going. We're not leaving anybody behind. This is how it's funded. So what the employers will do, they will contribute. They will match the taxes taken from your paycheck. It's called a payroll tax. The taxes go into the Social Security piggy bank to help fund benefits later. So we're clear. We know how it works. This is how Social Security gets the money. This is how you get your benefit when you get ready to retire. We're going to go deeper. Here we go. Now, how do they figure out how much money you get? How do they calculate all of this? Step 1, hear me clearly. Put that phone down. Look at your average yearly earnings over your best 35 working years. Do you hear me? They take a look at your average yearly earnings over your best 35 working years. So if I think about it, I was thinking about this over the weekend and I said, okay, I know I spent 5 years back home in Illinois. I was working for a distribution center. Before that, I worked, I think it was part-time. I can't remember, for my first job when I think I was 18. It was for a water softening company and I was a telemarketer. I don't even know if that counts. So I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, when I was back home, I worked there. I'm making $9.80 an hour for 5 years at Bergner's. It was a distribution center. I moved here when I was 26. And since then, which was 1995, and I started doing the math, I've been working since then, 1995 from 2024, that's 29. So 29 years plus my 5 years, 34 years. Now, what I don't know is if they count the part-time. So I know that 5 years goes into my Social Security and the 29 years I've been here in Georgia, that goes. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're going to take my best 35 years. So I'm like, I need to get rid of and cancel out. I'm grateful for what I did back home. But that $9.80, I didn't make way more than that. So in my mind, I might need to work a little longer to cancel that 5 years out. Let's keep going. We'll do the math. Step 2, they adjust. The Social Security Administration adjusts each year's earnings for inflation over time. And they use adjusted earnings to calculate your monthly benefit amount. So what that means is, and we're going to do an equation here, an example, is they adjust for inflation because a candy bar was 25 cents back in the day. A candy bar today is what, $2. So they can't just say, well, we're going to take your best 35 years. They have to adjust for inflation. Y'all with me so far? So they're going to take your best 35 years of working And I got you. Don't worry. We're going to go deeper. They're going to adjust it for inflation. And this is how they're going to calculate your monthly benefits. So this is what it looks like. Don't worry. Don't wreck your brain. I want you to figure out what you're going to make. You don't have to do this now. I want you to go back because I know it's been late. Everybody's been working. You had a holiday. You may not want to do math, but here's what it looks like. It's called means testing of earnings. This is what the Social Security Administration does. This refers to how your earnings are used to calculate your benefits with different portions of your income being valued differently. So here's an example. Let's suppose they averaged those 35 years. They said, okay, the average of what Loretta made for 35 years is $7,000. So John has worked all his life and they averaged all of that. And they said, okay, we averaged is $7,000 a month. Okay, so we're going to take 90% of the 7,000 because they can only go up to 1,115. So they're going to take 90%. As long as it's not more than 1,115. So when they take 90% of 7,000, it came to 1,003.50 cents. So they're going to put 1,003.50 in a bucket. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to take 32% of what's left. What's left is 5,606. So they're going to take 32% of that. That's $1,793.92. They're going to throw that in the bucket with 1,003. Now, what's remaining is $279. They're going to take 15% of that, which is $41.85. They're going to throw that in the bucket. They're going to add all of that up. That's what Loretta and John is going to have when they get ready to retire. $2,839.27. So how did they do this again, y'all? They took the best 35 years of you working. They averaged out your annual salary each year. And they averaged that $7,000 is what Sean made. And so this is how we're going to determine what you're going to get for Social Security. Now, here's a strategy, because I know some people say, well, Kelli, I took 2 years off, or I haven't been working 35 years. What am I going to do? If you have not been working 35 years, the years that you have not worked, you will get zero in those years. Some of you may have worked 27. When you do the math, you say, okay, yeah, I've been working since I was 20. I'm 52. So I've been working 32 years. So the remaining 8 years will have zero. When they do their calculation, they're going to take 8 years. So year 1, 0, year 2, 0, year 3. And for those 8 years is all zeros. They're going to factor that in. So here's a strategy. Excuse me. Number one, you can delay collecting your benefits. So when I was doing the math, I'm like, you know what? I want to cancel out the 5 years that I worked in Illinois. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. But I was making $9.80. And I know I made way more than that when I moved here. And it was almost like me starting over. So for me, I have 29 years in the pot. So for me, I know it's probably 9 years. Is that right? You can start getting Social Security money when you turn 62. You can. But it's like opening a present early. The longer you wait, the better it gets. If you wait until you're older, like 67 or 66 or 67, which they call your full retirement age. So if you wait till your full retirement age, your Social Security money grows bigger. Every year you wait, they add more money to your Social Security up to age 70. Think of it like a tree. The longer you let it grow, the more fruit or money you can pick. Are y'all with me? Y'all with me? So that's the strategy. The strategy number one is you can delay. You can start doing the math and thinking about, okay, what I'm going to get every month. I didn't put my time in, my work in, because nobody thinks about this. I know FICA coming out. I'll be good. I got money coming in. But is it going to be enough for us, y'all? Is it going to be enough? Do we need to make up years? Anybody in the comments need to make up some years? Some of y'all like, forget it. Whatever they give me, I'm getting. whatever they give me, I'm just going to take it. Strategy 2. Like I said, if you haven't worked a full 35 years, maybe now you can do the math and you can say, I need to work. I have another client who said, I need to work 6 more years. You should know this, you all. Everybody's got a number. Everybody's got a number. I want to know your number. I want you to know your number. Instead of early retirement when you're 62, because they're going to prorate it, you can say, okay, let me work this full 35 years. Remember how Social Security looks at your best 35 years of earning to figure out how much money you get when you're older. This means if you work for 35 years, not that you're 35, but you have worked full time for 35 years, they have more years to choose from to find your best ones. They have more years to choose from. I want them to find my best ones. If you work less than the 35 years, that they might have to count some years as 0, which can make the money you get later a bit less. So a strategy could be, you know what? I know I got 28 years in. I may have to work another 7 because I want them to pick the best years. I know when I left corporate, I was making $220K. That was the last of my salary. But I know I didn't make that my entire career. So working for a full 35 years is like filling up a stamp book. The more stamps or years of work you have, the better your prize, or more money will be. Uh-oh, Camille got 41 years in the game. Hey, I ain't fooling with Camille. Here's another one. Now, this is where I find a lot of people that I talk to. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant at all. I just provide the information. I want you to do your research. Some people need to fill in the gap. Now we're going to get to the side hustle. Okay, we're going to get to that. Let's say you only work for 30 years. You've done the math. You thought about it. Y'all saw how I did it, and I kind of broke it down for myself. You have 5 years with zeros in them. By starting a side hustle, you can turn those zeros into actual earnings. This is what I mean by being strategic. This is what I mean by when I share, I have intentionality top of mind for you all when you're consuming the content that I'm sharing about side hustle. I don't want you just saying, oh, I'll do that, because you know what? We start something and don't finish. I know we're not going to admit it. I'll just admit it for myself. But if you have a strategy behind it, if you have a purpose behind it, you're more likely to finish it or complete it. But if you're just going for it, because we already know, right? We've already learned that money is not a goal. It's a what, y'all? It's a tool. We know that the reason we're doing this, either we need to fill in the gap for our retirement, or I need to take that money and do some investing because Kelli gave us some investing websites last week. So I'm going to take that money and do this. Or I need to invest in the S&P like Sean is doing. Sean broke down how many stocks, Sean? 10, 12. She said, Kelli, I don't know it all. And I love her transparency, but I'm learning. She's doing it with intentionality. I know a few of you in here, Jay, Derek, John, all of y'all got side hustles, quote unquote. And they're doing things with intentionality, not just because it's something I need more money, I got to pay bills. It's just comfort zone, because I know at our age, we like the sense of security. We have not been taught to leverage our money. We haven't been taught to use our money to make us more money. Whatever you say about Donald Trump, he went bankrupt, what, 3 times? And people say, well, I can't mess with my credit score. I just got it where it is. I just want to see it. I got I don't want to touch my 401k. I don't want to touch my 401k. I don't want to use anything. I got, 100K in savings. I'm not touching. You want to look at it, right? You want to sit there. You want to look at it. Would you rather have his bank account or what you got in the bank account? No matter, I ain't talking about what you think of the man, because he knows how to leverage his credit and his money. And if it's not moving, it's losing. Let me keep going. By starting a side hustle, you can turn those zeros into actual earnings. It doesn't matter if the side hustle doesn't pay as much as your main job did. Hear me when I say it. I'm going to say it again. It don't matter because we're thinking differently. I see all the signs. How much can I make? I need to make a lot of money. You really don't. It's what you do with the money. Any amount is better than zero and will count towards your 35 years. This can boost your Social Security benefit amount when it comes to retire because now you have fewer or no zero income years. I want you thinking about your future. If you got all your future tied up in 401k that you're letting your employer fund for you or the plan administrator fund for you, you don't even peek in there to see what they're contributing or distributing your funds, your money to. If the market crash, what happens? This is about being prepared, you all. I know y'all feel how fast we're going. I know I can't be the only one. The day is going faster and faster. We're going to be there quicker. Whether you like the topic or not, you're going to be there one day. And we're getting there sooner rather than later. So if you start now, thinking about, okay, all right, let me get with my accountant. Or let me do some math. Or Kelly, I need a blueprint for a side hustle. I don't want to just be random out there doing these side hustles that's not worth anything or not worth my time. And I can't get any gains out of it. I need a strategy or something. For my folks that were married, here's strategy number 4. I know somebody in my family that did this. They still carry the last name. Y'all wonder why people still carry the last name. Why that woman still got that man last name? If you were married to your ex-spouse for at least 10 years and are currently unmarried, you may be eligible for spousal benefits based on their record. This eligibility is typically not affected by whether your ex-spouse has remarried or not. Fellas, if you and your wife or your ex-wife not together and she get remarried, hey, hold yours. If your ex-spouse has remarried, their new spouse could also be eligible for spousal benefits, but this does not reduce or affect the benefits you or your ex-spouse are entitled to. Hello. You can still receive benefits based on your ex-spouse's record as long as you meet the other eligibility criteria. Now, what's going on? Multiple spouses here. My ex got remarried. Your ex got remarried. Social Security can pay benefits to multiple individuals based on one worker's earning record. So ladies, if you got a divorce, he remarried, she can get some, you can get some. Fellas, you got an ex-spouse, she got remarried. She had, money coming in. You guys were together 10 years. You met the eligibility requirements. Listen. So if your ex-spouse has remarried, both you and their new spouse can potentially receive benefits without impacting each other. Now, if you remarry, you generally cannot collect spousal benefits. Now, they have a caveat to this now. On your former spouse's record unless your later marriage ends, whether by death, divorce, or annulment. So I know people that strategically, somebody very close to me, I know, waited. They waited. I ain't saying it's the right thing to do, but they waited until, because the husband was close to 62 before the divorce happened. So that's a strategy. These are strategies, you all. Now, how do side hustles help us with this? Now, remember that 35 year that we have to have where Social Security is going to look over our best 35 years. So think about your best 35 years and what you want the government looking at when they determine what you're going to get monthly. Let's have a number in mind. We don't know what it's going to be like when we get to the age of full retirement, which is 66, 67. We don't know what it's going to look like when we are able or eligible to retire, which is 62. For some of us, it's sooner rather than later. But we want to know, okay, here's my number. If I have this number, I think, I might, be okay. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to be happening, going on in the world. But by this, you can determine, okay, I need a side hustle. So I'm going to cancel out. For me, I want to cancel out those 5 years where I was at $9.80 an hour back home. And I want to add on to what I have here when I'm relocated. So for me, I know it'll be another 7-8 years for me. So I had a side hustle I went to the other day. It was $40 an hour. Can't talk about it. Had to keep it quiet, but it was $40 an hour. Now, when I share these with you, if you go back in the videos, I named it in one of the videos and I showed you my account. That's counted as my income. The money you earn from this side hustle counts as income and gets reported to Social Security. Even if the income from your side hustle isn't very big, it's better than a zero in their calculations. All right, y'all with me? Did I lose anybody? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Jay said, I've worked all my life. Miss Seeley. So again, just as a disclaimer, it's important to remember Social Security rules can be complex and individual circumstances can affect eligibility. It's advisable to consult with the Social Security Administration or a financial advisor for personalized guidance, because that is not me. That is not me. Let me see what y'all saying, and then I'll share a video. I didn't know if I would have time, but I do. I'll share a video with you. I want to see what y'all talking about first. What we think about that, y'all? Does anybody need to fill in the gap? I like that, Sean. Leverage and restructure. Sean, you got the badge. Y'all see the private members, they got the fancy badge. Kelly, does this equation just for income? Let's see what you say, Derek. Where you been, by the way? I'm fussing at you. Hope you've been okay. Hopefully you've been okay. Does the equation just for income by employer, or does income from other sources count? Lottery, legal settlements, etc. That's an excellent question. I don't know the answer to that. I would think because, like, if you hit the lottery, they count that as income, right, y'all? Where are my smart people at? They count that as income, or legal settlements. That's true, Derek. I wonder if they count that as income. Do they count? Where are my smart people at? I would think, Derek, it has to be counted as income. They take taxes out of the lottery, right? That's my thought, Derek. But I would definitely dive in and check on that to see. In this instance, though, what the equation that I shared, that example that I shared, that was from payroll taxes. So the FICA on your paycheck. I remember my daughter was working at what's the shoe place? Payless. She got her first job ever. She called me. Oh, she was ticked off. Who is this man, FICA? Lord have mercy. That child was mad. Who is this man? Why it gotta be a man? How come it can't be a woman? She want to know who this man is, though. Who is this man, FICA? I'm like, you know that man, FICA, boy. She was hot. She was hot about that man, FICA, boy. I'm like, yeah, FICA trip. But Rhoda said, yes, it is. Okay, I know some smart. Kelly doesn't count settlements. That's okay. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Jackie said Kelly doesn't count settlements or lottery when he's. Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't know, y'all. I could be wrong. I believe lotteries are counted due to having to pay taxes. Settlements, however, are taxed. Yeah, I thought you had to pay, but I think what Jackie's saying, in California they don't do it. But I thought, because my dad used to play all the time, that's why I'm thinking it was counted as income. But that's a great point. John said, man, woo, only 7 years married, then divorced. Oh, wow. So 3 more years, John, you could have, 3 more years. Just say it. It's gift taxes, not income. Okay. Jackie said it's gift tax. Oh, in Cali though. So what I want you all to think about, right, especially with the side hustles, and if you're watching the replay and you're checking this out, or you all as well, think about being intentional with your extra money that you're getting, not just that it's money to pay bills, because you'll take it and you'll do right the same thing you're doing with the current income that you have. So there should be a strategy behind what we're doing, especially at our age. We want to move with intentionality. We don't just want to move because it's the thing that everybody's doing. There are legit companies. I'm going to share a video. I got like 3 videos coming this week. Y'all check them out. There's one where I really, really like, because they have benefits. They have benefits, and it's driving. I can't remember. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, it's a company that you have benefits. And again, I think about the things we think about. We're thinking about health insurance. We're thinking about the premiums. We're thinking about having to go to the doctor and all the things, right? We're thinking about that. And so that would be a good one. That would be a really good one. So what do you all think about the information? Was it helpful? No free money from me. John, I know that's right. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No free money from me either. No free money. What do y'all think about that? Did you learn something? Was this helpful at all? I'm gonna show you a video and we're gonna keep it rolling. Was it helpful? Is this something for you to think about? Would you all just got the wheels turning? I know it's some math, I want you to think about this. But when you plug in that side hustle, you can be thinking about, okay, I know they're gonna count this as income, like Derek was saying. I want to make enough so that they're using this year. They're using these 35 years here, right? Good info. Okay, good, Loretta. Good. Okay, Denmark. I want to call you Maryland. You're welcome. And listen, nothing's wrong with side hustles. Y'all know that I do them myself. I do them myself. I just did it. But I'm strategic. I know why I'm doing it. I know the purpose of that money when I get it. I know there's a purpose for it. There's a purpose for it. Okay, there's a purpose for it. Let me see if I missed any questions. And then I want to share with you all a video. Hopefully YouTube won't shut me down. Y'all know I got my hand slapped last week, and that's why I had to do it in a podcast format. So my bad if you were looking for the replay. The guy with the music, y'all know in the beginning how if you're waiting for this to start, I play the music. The guy must have said something. I don't know. Like all the billion people on YouTube, you pick me. You can't use it. I'm like, all right, whatever. You should bring a legal CPA on in the future to get more in-depth information about how people can play. That's a great idea. Actually, I was thinking about that for my members. Y'all see the members with the little badge. I got YouTube members. Click that button right underneath my picture. It says join us. On Thursday, they just got the calendar. I sent it out yesterday. I hope you all saw it for the members. I have a guy, fellas, by the way, I was thinking about y'all when I was talking to him. Now, I will say he acting a little flaky. So if he don't, for some reason, I'm going to teach. But he told me, yes, I can show y'all the documents. But anyway, he has an Amazon storefront. He's, I'm not going to guess his age, but I know he's in our age demographic. And he's killing it. I want y'all to hear from other than me. So that's on Thursday, this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I wanted him to talk about his storefront. And here's the thing. He's a guy. And fellas, listen. I know y'all fellas. This is a man who's taking advantage of online and the business and the money that can be made. This guy is killing it. Regardless of you wanting to be private or being an introvert. I didn't heard it all. I told you. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to know my business. All the things. He has an Amazon store and he's killing it. How many times have you shopped at Amazon this year? And it's just April. Last year. Fellas, you all have a great opportunity because a lot of men don't do things like that. One, because I think it's for women. Two, because I don't know, but I'm telling you, y'all buy stuff. Men, I'm fussing at y'all tonight. Y'all buy stuff. Look around your house. Just take a look right now. Just look around. All that you bought. Look at what you got on right now. Look at what you got on right now. You bought it. Get your little store. John, I know you got a business. Derek, I know you got a business. I didn't talk to y'all. I know what kind of business y'all got. I'm telling you. Jay, no, I'm not going to even get on Jay because Jay will come on here. He talks about his business. So I know, John laughing. I know Jay don't mind sharing, but the rest of you fellas, listen. I don't know, Derek. People just be tripping. Listen, they just be tripping. Jay, I know Jay shares his information, but you other fellas, here's the thing. This is why I'm telling you this, and y'all know how I am. I'm strategic with it. A lot of men aren't doing it, so get out there now. Get out there now. It's easy. It's easy to just get out there, put your stuff out there, and you don't have to do anything. You got to be on camera. Right? I'm pushing you to be out there. If you need a blueprint, a game plan, go to 𝗖𝗛𝗘�jackson.com, Kelly with an I, and we could do a whole game plan for you. But I'm telling you to get out there. I was reading something else, and I'm going to show you a video in a second. I was reading this for myself. If you notice, I've changed my theme. You may have noticed, y'all ain't looking like I'm looking, but to creator. And I was reading because I was thinking about going to this conference. Another thing my members are going to get, I'm going to give you a list of conferences and maybe we can meet up. But these are some important conferences that happening this year, and I'm going to share that with them. But so I was looking at this conference that I was thinking about attending, but I think I'll get overwhelmed because it will be my first year. And so I started doing more research, and it was talking about the creator economy. And if you're watching the replay, I don't know, you might be here in the comments, but I know a few of you have asked me about being a creator. And they were saying how the creator economy will be $500 billion. No, let me say it right. Will have $500 billion market share by 2027. Now, typically you say in the next 10 years, next 25 years, 2027 is 3 years away. They said it will be $500 billion market share. Y'all know what market share is, right? That means an industry will take over and will have $500 billion space in all the industries. Because remember, not too long ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, everybody tech. I want to be in tech. I got to be in tech. I want to be in tech. How do I transition to tech? I got to be in a FANG company. I got to be in tech. Got to be in tech. Got to be in tech. Tech. Right? The creative economy is creeping up. It's creeping up, y'all. So I'm like, okay. I'm wondering why, and I'm gonna be quiet and share this video. I got all these different, I told y'all last week, these different brands reaching out. It's wild. It's wild. They ain't doing commercials no more. They going to these influencers. I'm not that. I'm just saying other people and saying, hey, we'll pay you this because we don't have to pay millions, $800 million for a Super Bowl ad. We'll pay you because you got, these people, you put this in front of them. So if that's interest to you, go ahead, hit that join button right next to my picture because I'm going to break that down. I'm breaking that thing down because I didn't study that for myself. So I'm going to share it with my members. All right, listen. I like that, Derek. As long as you're willing to try. That's it. That's it. Now he's coming on Thursday. That's my hope. Yeah, he had a lot of questions today. And, at some point you're like, listen, are you coming or not? All right, this is a video. Hopefully YouTube won't shut us down. And I was going to share this, but I didn't want to overwhelm us. I wanted to get the Social Security information out. That way, when you know better, you do better. I want you all to do the math. I want you to have a number in mind. And this way, in your head, if you're like, I don't even know where to start. I want a side hustle. I don't even know what to do. This gives you a goal. This gives you a goal. Get your number. You know what? I need to make this. I'm 48. I'm 51. I'm 57. I'm 53. I'm this far from retirement. Use that as a gap, as a starting point. You can change it as you evolve over the years, but use that and say, okay, I got 7 years. Even if you're watching and you're 45, right? It comes quickly. I got 10 years. All right, I'm gonna get a side hustle and learn it and know about it. And that way, when they do determine, they can have at least a decade to use from that 35 years of my best years, or I got 8 more years. That's a starting point. Once you get that number, reach out to me. I am KelliJackson.com, Kelli with an I. Schedule a consultation to let's map out a game plan. You know what? I'm interested in Amazon store. You know what, Kelli? I think I want to be a creator, but I don't know about being on camera. What can I do? Or you know what? I'm thinking about a remote job. If I can come home at night and work for 4 hours, as long as it's something that, you know, I can chill and I can make some money, and I'll take that money, Kelli. And I think I'm going to invest, like you shared last week, into this music thing, because I know music is always going to be there. And I know they're evolving music and streaming services. And I know how they just took all of the Universal just took the music from TikTok. It's got to go somewhere. So I'm going to do my research and I'm going to start investing just $10 into that. So that's where that money is going to go, because I'm leveraging it. Or you know what? I think I'm going to get into this art thing, because I know that art is a big thing. I saw 𝗲𝐶ia Keys and Swizz Beatz and Jay-Z and Beyonce. I saw them, they creating all these art museums, and they're not really saying anything, but something happening, because Seinfeld then bought all these. This is how it goes. They have all these exhibits and exhibitions and all these things here in Atlanta. Doc will tell you at Atlanta High Museum every Friday. What is it, Doc? First Friday, whatever. You can go see these new exhibits. Art ain't going anywhere. So we're thinking about, just like Sean said, how to leverage the money. We're not just thinking about bills. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be there. Y'all didn't split the payments before. You didn't said I need arrangements before. Do something for you. Can we keep it real? Or is it too real? All right. I'm really hesitating if I want to share this video, because I don't want them to shut us off. And it's really talking about things that are happening in the world, because I've been sharing with you all that I want to have that conversation. This is part of the conversation, actually. I just didn't want to stuff it. And it's talking about, I think it was Crystal, who also knew about a topic around universal income. Let me see how much I can get away with. If it starts to get shaky, I'm going to shut it off. But I want y'all to listen, okay? And then we'll talk about it. Here we go. It's about 5 minutes, though. It's about 5 minutes. Let's see what happens.
Today, I'm speaking with former Secretary of Labor, Robert Reich. Professor Reich, thanks so much for joining.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Lindsay.
As former Secretary of Labor, do you think that U.S. workers today are better off now than they were 30 years ago?
Well, it's a very, very complicated question, Lindsay. Thank you for asking it. In terms of inflation-adjusted pay, real wages, the typical worker is a little bit better than he or she was 30 years ago, but not very much better. That is, if you look at productivity relative to wages, the gap continues to grow.
Great. I'm glad you bring up productivity, because that was our next question. U.S. productivity is on the decline year over year. Why is productivity growth slowing in the U.S.?
I am one of the few who think that actually it's measured improperly. I think if you look at the actual value of output of Americans overall, again, it's very, very difficult with all of the intellectual property and the internet to accurately compare one period to another period. I think we are enormously productive, much more productive than we were, more productive than the data show, because there's so many efficiency and new efficiencies built into the production process that we don't see. So I would say overall, American workers are substantially more productive than they were, given their capacities through technology. But those capacities are not being reflected in their paychecks. And worker pay continues to be very, very sluggish, even before the Fed started raising interest rates in an attempt to slow the economy.
Sure. So one of those efficiencies could be AI. Can all workers benefit from the rise in AI technology, or is it just something that tech and media can benefit from?
Well, we're all going to benefit to the extent that there are new efficiencies. We can buy things cheaper. We can get AI embedded in all sort of gadgets. And therefore, our lives become just easier. On the other hand, there will be a lot of casualties in terms of workers, not just the routine workers that were in the factories that got replaced by software over the last 30 years, but we're going to see more professional workers who are actually going to be losing their jobs because AI can do those jobs at least as well as they can and far more efficiently. And it's going to have tremendous social and political implications because a lot of those professional workers are used to doing fairly well. This isn't the working class anymore. We're now talking about the middle class in America, and AI could very easily be taking over many of those jobs.
That sort of leads directly into my next question. So how will AI change the employer-employee relationship?
AI could change the employer-employee relationship dramatically because right now today, depending upon how you measure it, anywhere from 16 to 38% of American workers are independent contractors. AI is going to basically create a different kind of employment relationship because, you know, if you have platforms, as you do now, you're going to have more platforms, more AI, more of us, including, I hate to say it, Lindsay, maybe even you, are going to be working for AI. We're not going to be working for big companies. We're not going to be working directly for them. We're going to be working for AI intermediaries and platforms. Those intermediaries and platforms are going to be paying us a kind of spot auction rate. That is, what is our demand at the moment? Now, you might say that that's very efficient, but it is also extremely destabilizing in terms of our lives. I mean, how can we possibly plan our lives if we are in a spot auction market in terms of what we earn? Things we take for granted, all of the labor protections of the last 120 years, everything. I mean, AI could eradicate all of them. And so you have basically the owners and investors over here and all the rest of us over here.
I think this sort of answers that. But what is the biggest challenge facing workers today?
It is to stay relevant and to continue to produce content and products that justify the wages, even though those wages have not kept up barely with productivity. It is inevitable that we are going to have some sort of a universal basic income. And for the simple reason, this is regardless whether you're on the left or the right, it doesn't matter. People have got to have enough money in their pockets, buy all of the things that the new economy is capable of producing. If you've got AI and all of these platforms, and you've got people who are basically no longer needed, huge numbers of people, then how do you get money in their pockets to buy everything the economy is capable of producing? You simply can't have an economy under those circumstances. We need workers, we need consumers, we need investors. But the worker and consumer part of the economy is going to be under even more stress over the next 25 years.
So he said a lot, you all.
Made money
He said a lot, and I wanted to share that with you. He said a lot. We knew when we've talked about AI, and he drilled down into how it's going to affect the professional worker, us, right? He talked about how there's going to have to be some help, the universal base income. Crystal was sharing with us the other week about the universal base income. He talked about auctioning off our skills. He said we have to stay relevant. He talked about getting work from an app. I just posted that 2 weeks ago. So staying relevant, right? And knowing what your skills are. I just thought about something. I need to do another video on how you can leverage your skills. For some of us that have an expertise in a field like Doc, there's some sites that you can go on where you can determine which, I'm getting off track, but let me just get it out of my head. You can leverage your expertise by consulting. That's just like I do. When I say go to 𝗖𝗛𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and do consulting, you all can do this too with companies where you determine how much you charge an hour and you can consult on something. I think Derek knows quality. So he would have people to pay for an hour of this time, like an attorney. You know what I mean? So all of you have experience in something, and I'll share that. I got to write that down. Somebody remind me because I'll forget. I left my pad too. There's a couple websites you can go on and you can get on their platform and they'll market you and all of that. But in the video, I wanted to share those three things. I wanted to talk a little bit about AI and how it's now touching, because in the beginning, after COVID and all of that, it was more You're talking about how it would affect the essential workers, the frontline workers, and how he was just sharing it's now touching the professional workers. And we know that. We've talked about that. Also, the universal basic income. They're having conversations on how we can get money in people's pockets. I don't want us dependent upon them or anybody else. I want us dependent upon us. That's why we're talking about these side hustles. Y'all see, I get real turned up about that because we don't want to deter. I don't want you handing me $1,000. I don't want you handing me here. I'm gonna make my money myself. He said we need to do that. We have to do that because we're a consumer-based economy. That means that we have to buy things. That's the type of economy we have when people spend. That's the type of economy. It's a consumer-based economy. You hear often they talk about the gross domestic product, the GDP. That's because our economy is built on people buying stuff. Even at the top, from a country perspective, the government buys from China and India and Indonesia and Australia and all. We buy stuff. That's our economy. The businesses do the same thing. It's in business because they have a product and or service. They have to have people buy their tools, their software, buy their services. They have to have employees to sell their skills, their talent, their abilities. They need you to give you that money so you can go out and go shopping. That's how our economy works. So they're thinking about this universal based income. How are we going to get money in people's pockets if AI is taking over everything? So the government is thinking for us instead of us thinking for us. And so I want you to think about that. If we're talking about it now, there is no reason, because when you know better, you do better. Just because you don't know how, it does not give you a reason not to figure it out. Now that you know, you're responsible for it. You cannot say, I didn't know this was coming. Are y'all with me? No excuses. We offer up information. People in here, John shares information, Jace shares it, Clifford shares it, Derek always sharing information. Everybody shares information. There's no excuse, you all. There's no excuse. None. You saw him. He made the hand gestures. There will be stakeholders and investors over here. And he said there will be us over here. There's no middle. There's no middle. So they're thinking about, well, how we got to get money, and they've piloted this. I want you to do the research. Crystal already did it. Look up universal. What's it called again? UBI? Universal based income. Is that right? Universal based income. Do your research, y'all. They show you the different states. They've been piloting this for years. Did you know? So they know what's coming. So when I'm stepping on your toes and I'm giving you this information, I'm hoping that you're not just sitting there watching thinking this is entertainment. I need you to be prepared. It's a reason for this. If you're not executing, you just got a whole bunch of notes, because I've been doing this for how many years, Derek, y'all? I want you well informed. It's okay to reach out, Kelly. I don't know that I understand. I need a plan. I need a game plan. What can I do next? I need something long term. I don't want anything to creep up on me. Do y'all know that? I don't even know if I can say this because they said it's not supposed to be known, but it's all over TikTok. McKinsey they're offering people $300 and something, Google it, to leave. Because they're known not to fire people or lay people off, but we're going to give you $324,000, something like that, to leave. Why? McKinsey, y'all. I do a lot of my report. I got another report to share with y'all. I was going to share with y'all tonight, but we're already over time. But from them, quiet as it's kept, they're offering people to leave. Why? One of the top 3 consulting firms. Google it. Do not just sit here. I'm not entertainment. I dig deep. I go deep for you all because I want you to have the information. I know this community, we care about each other. We really do. Like in real life, it's real. There's a lot of places you go and it's different. And there's an agenda behind everything. But somebody got to care about somebody. I need you to care about yourself. And you have to invest in yourself. Whether it's what you're doing tonight is a perfect example. And a lot of you are, I know John and Derek and Loretta and Crystal and Jackie and Janelle. I miss y'all. I know when somebody not here. And they're always helping. Always help them. Always helping. And I appreciate and Lucille and Marilyn and Stephanie. And yes, I saw your message, Stephanie. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. No matter. Get started early. We need you to keep us young, Stephanie. If you're learning, then that means that you're ahead of your time. And you definitely belong here. You absolutely belong here. You absolutely belong here. The best group and community on the planet. So listen, I want you all to take the education. Don't just take it and take notes, though. Don't just look at what we're doing. I need you to execute. If you need a plan, like I said, I'm here. I'm here to help you with the plan. Right? We have private members group. It's underneath my picture on the page. Hit join. We're going to meet on Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm hoping the guy comes. If not, I'll break down the Amazon store. I'll do it myself. I know how to do it. If you're not eligible, you know I got to work around. I got you. Don't think about it. You ain't got no followers and all the things. You know I got to work around. I'll break that down. I wanted him to come in, especially for my fellas, because I think it's important, because there's a lot of guys out here that are thinking, it's not for them or whatever. I'm telling y'all, especially now, this guy that we just saw, and I'm gonna let y'all go. If you go back and I'll put it underneath this video. If you go back and watch, he talks about our demographic. And he talked about it for a second there, and he was saying, especially for us, and he's talking about our age demographic and how we should look for. I think he said the gig economy. That's what came across the screen. That's the same as side hustles, right? So we're already in there. Y'all are already in it. Y'all already got them in your face. You're already looking at them. Right? I'm sharing with you all. I put the links in. Go and do your due diligence and pick one, because it could be overwhelming. I know it can. The ones that I do are the ones that I'm interested in. I like to do some of the testing ones. I did a video about that. I like to do those. Because I can do them at home. 2, because they pay a little bit higher, especially the technical ones. You don't have to be technical. I don't have to be technical, but they need people because of this AI boom. Right, for the technical thing. Hey, welcome, Camille. Welcome. I see you. I got you, Stephanie. Go to 𝗖𝗛𝗆𝗔𝐾ellijackson.com. Kelli with an I. Free consultation. We can see what you're interested in. Right? Let me see if I can. What did y'all think? Was this helpful, you all? I always want to make sure I'm not wasting your time and it's valuable, and I get you to thinking. Right? I want you to think. And I want it to be helpful. I want you to, more importantly, though, I want you to execute on it. Oh, Marilyn. I'm so glad you guys are here. Elizabeth, if there are more independent contractors, less money will be paid into. If there are more independent contractors, less money will be paid into. He was starting to talk about that too, Liz. You're right. He was starting to talk about that too. I'll drop the link so you guys can watch the full thing. This is why it's important that we do for ourselves, you all. This is why it's important that we do for ourselves, and we're watching what and we're not running around and we're not letting money lead us. We're not letting money lead. I need to pay a bill. I need to find a hustle. We don't want to hustle. We beyond that. We ain't hustling. No, we're not hustling. We're strategically creating plans so that we're funding our future. We're creating a legacy for those that are behind us, our kids, our grandkids, our nieces, our aunt, all the things. We're doing that. It's a reason why that candy by Hershey's been around for how many years? Because they created a legacy. We don't do stuff like that. Sam Walton did the same thing. Mars did the same thing. How come, who gonna have your last name? Mims. Somebody should have Mims, should be everywhere, right? Franklin should be everywhere. Johnson, Bristow, Autry. That should be across everywhere because y'all had a plan. It's one I want to get into. It's called it's the bikes, but you have to be strategic. It's I can't think of the name of the company, but in San Francisco, you know, you can just hop on a bike. That's a city. I'm talking too fast because I'm getting excited. Where they ride bikes. They don't really have cars, and so it's a company where you can invest in that. I'm like, that's a good idea. That's a really good tip, but you got to know the right city, got to do the research and all the things. So I'm looking around for things like that, right? Because we can see what's happening and what's coming, you all. Marna! Hey. I'm glad you all enjoy. I'm glad it's helpful. That's the goal. I'm glad it's helpful. Glad it's helpful. And so I want you all to think about it. Just consider. And again, I'm here. Go to right there. Set up a consultation. It's absolutely free. I'm giving you all I got. I'm giving it to you. But you got to do the work. You got to execute. There are actually people, I'm not the only one though. I'm not the only one that actually can see what's happening, especially for us, you all. Here's the thing about us, and I'm gonna let you go. It's another video I was gonna share with y'all, but I'll do it next week. I'll do it, I'll make sure I'll share. It's actually by McKinsey. It's a report. We're the top demographic, y'all. They need us because of the labor shortage. Y'all wanna take a peek at it? I won't do it because I'll get too excited. They need us, y'all. So get in position. Step your game up. Get that polished professional presence. Get out there on LinkedIn. You're global now. You have something to offer. Be global. All these countries need us. They need us. But you have to be findable. If they looking, are they going to find you? Are they going to find you? I told you about the creator economy. In 3 years, it's going to be $500 billion market share. $500 billion. You know the first thing God did? What's the first thing he did? He created. It's not a coincidence. You got to see the signs. You shouldn't be surprised because I'm telling you, the question is, are you listening? All right, I love y'all. There you go, Rhoda. There you go. I love y'all. Listen, for my members, I'll see you Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to hit this guy up again. I will show you the emails, but we ain't going to do that. I promise. And if not, I'll break it down for you all. I love you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. I will put all the links below this video. It takes 24 hours or so for it to do its thing. And I'll have the links and video. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, go ahead and do that and hit that like button. Love y'all. Have a good week. See you next week. Bye.